So what's up guys, and welcome back to our YouTube channel. Today I'm just going to be showing you how I ended up my winning streak. We're now in 2 weeks winning streak and it just ended this week, right? So I'm just going to show you the trade and the psychology behind, like the full breakdown of what I was doing before. So this is the trade, guys. I'm going to show you also on my phone. I did not take so many trades this week. Currently we are now in our second trade and it's in a drawdown that can make you throw up. It's not only the losing streak that makes a person trade badly, right? Winning streaks can get to your head and losing streaks can get to your heart. So you must be careful. Both winning and losing very much is very dangerous in trading. If you win very much, you have a lot of confidence, right? You'll be overconfident and you'll be less humble. But if you have a losing streak, right, sometimes you are now afraid even to place a trade, and sometimes you are now revenge trading. So I'm just going to show you how my psychology got the better of me on this position, right? Let's just go into our 5 minutes here. Into our 5 minutes, we can see that direction wise I was correct, right? But because I'm now used to winning a lot of trades, we had a winning streak of about 2 weeks. Because I was now winning a lot of trades, I just entered the markets, right, without looking at everything. If we are to draw a fair value gap in the 1 hour time frame, right, we can see that we had a fair value gap right here. This fair value gap, which was then what retested and filled. And then if we go back into the 5 minutes time frame, if we go back into the 5 minute time frame, this is when you see that I was impatient. I had FOMO when I was entering this trade. I had FOMO. Instead of waiting for it to go back to my area of interest, I thought that it was already gone. No, right? That when we are trading, there is accumulation, right? And then there is manipulation. And then there will be distribution. Like the graph, most of the times it moves like this, not every time, right? It moves like this, right? And then it is in a what? It is in a downtrend. And then people put their stop losses here, right? As I did there. People put their stop losses at what? At this level. Was entering sales at what? At this level. But what the market does now, it then takes out those stop losses. This is what we call what? Manipulation. And then it goes in the required direction. This is what we call what? Distribution. This is exactly what happened here. There was a bit of accumulation, then there was manipulation, and then the graph distributed, going straight into the direction it was supposed to go. So you can see that for these 5 hours from 12 to 5 p.m., right, this is when we now had our direction. This is when the graph was now being distributed. But here in the morning from 8 a.m. to 11, right, the first 4 hours, it was just consolidating on one place. Then there was just about an hour or two of taking out those who were in the right direction but were too early to enter the markets. And then those who would think that the graph is now going up, right, Like here, it seems to be a head and shoulders pattern which is now being retested, and then there's an engulfing candle. But now the direction is a downward direction. But for those who like reversals, they will think that the graph is now going what is now going up, and those who will place their buy orders here, right? When their buy orders are triggered and their stop losses will be here, right? When their buy orders are triggered, they're getting a bit of profit and they think that they are in the right direction, because this is now manipulation. When the distribution comes and their stops will be taken, giving those who had entered in the right position an advantage, because the graph will be now just going with a high volatility and high momentum. At our history, if we take it to this week on Wednesday, you can see that I entered 2 positions, right? I entered 2 positions. The first position, let me just zoom in the chart and remove this fair value gap. The first position, I entered it right about here. The first position, right about at this level. Because when I gave the signal to sell, right, the graph was already here, and I thought, I'm left out. I really thought that I was left out. I did not look at it very much. I really thought that this is it for me. So when it just retraced back a little, I was glad, and I sold at this level, right? And then it continued to go up. When it went up and it was now at this direction, seeing these pin bars 1, 2, 3, on the 4th pin bar, I said, this is now a confirmation of entry. Let me enter this trade, and I entered. Now what am I doing? It is not according to my plan to enter 2 positions, right, on one trade. If I want to enter 2 positions on one trade, they must have a stop loss of 0.25 and 0.25, right? If I already have a risk per trade on the day, if I say today I'm risking 1% per trade, or today I'm risking 0.5% per trade, if I've already taken a position which has a stop loss of 0.5, I'm not allowed to take another trade until it is now in profits, which we call scale up. But I was taking another trade whilst I'm in drawdown. You see that this is where psychology, the bad psychology I used came in place, right? This trade, one, I was affected by FOMO. My optimum trading zone was completely wrong. I was now arrogant, right? I was overconfident, and I just went with the wrong flow. And secondly, I added up on a losing trade. I added a position in a losing trade. This you should never do this, guys. You should never do this, right? So when I saw that my drawdown is now 457, I just simply closed the trade. I think we're now in about 50 to 60 pips loss, right, on all the positions, on both the positions. I just said, let me close my position. Our position was, the stop loss was a 130 pips, and we were now in about 50 to 60 pips loss. And I said, let me just close my positions, because the first one had a stop loss of 600, the second one had a stop loss of 500. I already had a stop loss of 1.1% when I wanted to risk only 0.5%. So I just said, let me close this trade. This trade is a lose. Whether it is stop loss or it is take profit, this trade is a lose. I was willing that even if I close the trade before stop loss hit and it goes to my win, I'm okay, because I did it wrong, right? I did it wrong. I was taking responsibility of what I did wrong, right? I did not hope for it to just go down. I said, okay, if it goes up, I won't be willing. I will I will regret it, right, if I lose 1.1% on this one trade, right? So let me just man up and just close them and not hope for the best. If the best happens, that's all well and good, but at least I minimized my risk. So this is how I closed the trade with only a 457 loss, right? And today we are already in another trade. This was an analysis because at 1 a.m. at around 2 a.m. I was just awake, right? And I had nothing to do, and I just said, let me look at the charts. And I saw the direction, it was downwards direction. And then we had an area of interest here, and I said, wow, this is a nice setup, but I do not trade it this time. This week might be a losing week, guys. We are currently on a position, and it's in a very massive drawdown. Let me show you on my phone also. We are already about to hit our stop loss, right? It's in 400 and is in about 560th drawdown. What stop loss? I think I put 600 stop loss. So why is it? Yeah, it's 600 stop loss. Yeah. So this is what we are currently looking at. But according to everything, right, this trade is in a setup, right? I had everything. I had my additional confluence, my trend, and my entry signal, right? So this is an A setup for me. If it doesn't play out, that's well and good. I won't beat myself for it, right? And also the spread that I'm having, guys, as you can see on my phone, this is not good. First of all, you just enter the date, right? And on each position, you just put 1, right? If you have 2 positions on that day, it does not mean you put 1 and 2 here, because the total will be what will be added here, right? The total will be added here. It is the number of positions you take. The number of positions will be used in other calculations, which will be below here, right? So waiting for this trade to end, right? It just finished right now. This is not good, because as I can see right here, my stop loss has not yet been hit. But let me just show you guys. My stop loss has been hit on my broker, but my stop loss has not yet been hit on TradingView, just because of the spread. This is crazy, guys. This is crazy. Let me just show you. This is crazy. This is crazy. It's not good. And I put a stop loss of $600, and it was hit with a $675. It's almost it's almost $100 on top of my stop loss. I don't know what is happening. Maybe there was news, but today when I analyzed my markets, when I analyzed news, there was no news. But this is just what happened. We are now, this is the end of the week, right? We are now at a 11.38%, which is all well and good, right? Whilst we are on the on the 3rd week, we'll just see what our final week has in store for us. So since the trade is already finished, I'll just show you whilst I'm recording everything. Whilst I'm recording everything. So this is how I record, guys. Let me just take you to, I just put 1 position and then write my pay GBP card right here, and then I'll just paste here. It's a long position. What was my time of entry? I look at at my phone, my time of entry, which was 15 29:16. You see it on your MT5, right? The time of end. And I had a risk of what? 0.6%. I was looking forward to gain a what? A 1,800, whilst I'm losing a $600, right? So my number of lots were 4.2. GBP card and GBP USD, usually they have the same number of lots. After this, I'm going to enter my, this one is calculated automatically. I'm going to enter my what? Stop loss pips. I know that my stop loss pips was minus 50. What did I lose on this trade? Minus 675.48. This is as I just enter as it is, and then we go to trade and see how it updates, right? As you can see, this week I had a loss of what? 1.13%, right? This whole week. And then it also records the 1.13% the whole week loss, and a total loss in number of pips of what? 65 pips. And then what trade should I give this? I'm going to give it a 5-star because everything was all well and good, right? Everything was all well and good. I had my entry signal, my stop loss, my take profit according to plan. Our ATR was giving us 7 pips, and I had a 15 pips stop loss, which is almost times 2 the ATR, right? And our engulfing candle was about 10 pips, right? And I gave a 15 pips stop loss, which is 10 plus what? Plus 5 pips. I don't know why GBP card had that big spread. I shall look into it later, because it's not good. It's not good. So I'll just update the community. You see, I'll just update the community that our stop loss has been hit. I'll just update the community. Just update the community right in front of, and my conditions of entry. I'll just take a what? I'll just take a link from one of my signals here, right? Let me close this one since it's not working. I'll just take a link from one of my signals and paste it here. So that when I'm now revising, when I'm now looking back into my trades on the weekend, I see what I was looking at. And for example, gold, when you have a loss, you don't have to look at it, right? Later during the day, or the next day, or over the weekend, when you have forgotten about it, when you are now fresh, when you are now looking at the markets at a neutral point, that's when you go back to the trade and start looking at it. This is what I was doing wrong. Like, for example, I saw what I was doing wrong on what? On gold. After the whole trade had played out, right? So let me just update these guys. As you can see right here, I will just save to the desktop right here, and then I will just attach it from my desktop to WhatsApp. See guys, this is how we just go day by day. So this week, guys, this is just insane. I have made losses, right? And I have made profits. Yes, I have made a lot of losses in a row, right? But to just say the whole week was losses, this is the first time, right? Even if I end in a maybe 2%, 1.5%, 0.5%, 1% drawdown for the week, right? There are a certain profits that will be there. Not to just say the whole week I had 3 losses. This is the first time. I don't know. This is just how we play the game, guys. So here I update my channel on the trades that we have taken and the results that we had, right? I update them, what we are seeing on the charts, and also what we are seeing on our phones, where I entered and what then happened, right? And then in our WhatsApp community, Telegram channel, as well as, and as most importantly, on my journal. You should always update your journal, right? You should always update your journal. It's a must. So this is how the week ended, guys. We'll just see what the last week of April has in store for us. The last week, I think I shall be a bit aggressive. But with 11% win in the whole month, it's fine, right? It's fine as a trader. 11% win. You are one of the top traders if you are gaining more than 8% every month at the end of every month. So as you can see, our graph was going up, right? Now its growth curve is now decreasing. It came back to 11,000. So everything just updates on its own. So until next time, guys, see you.